Yeah, there you go. Now it's the iMac.
Yeah.
We're there.
Yeah, there we go.
Hagen did it. Oh no, the iMac microphone.
What did I say? I said it's not working.
I'm just gonna keep clapping.
I said it's not working.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the audio listeners are like, everything sounds fine.
It's all intentional.
What are you guys talking about?
Fuck you, man.
Oh no, it's recording. Is it recording from that thing on there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. In fact, that's why I'm asking.
It's all good over there. The stream is the problem.
No.
Yeah, because OBS doesn't like to allow you to use like specific things. It's really fucking like if I switch to that right there, it's gonna not work. So I have to use like a third party audio device. Right, iMac mic for a minute, guys.
That'll be fine.
Just keep talking for a sec, guys. Excellent.
Yay!
Didn't know you used OBS. I miss old dirty bastard.
Old bastard shoes.
Old bastard shoes.
Forget about 2-year shoes. We're renaming the song.
Old bastard shoes.
Old bastard shoes.
You old bastard. Do. Oh yes, baby. Hold on.
Are we back?
Hold on.
Are we Gucci?
We
And
are Gucci.
in the good.
Oh
Yay!
my god.
This is the real clap.
Yeah.
Everyone
The other
on the
ones were
stream
fake,
better
yeah.
fucking like it right now. I
Like
deserve
this.
every single fucking like out
did it.
there.
You
God
did it.
damn it. That sucks.
Look,
We
see
got a
some
heart.
hearts.
Oh my god.
A heart.
Wow.
So good.
Wow, that's amazing.
Oh goodness.
Wow.
Fuck me. God.
Man,
I
technology.
didn't turn the fan off either. Whatever.
Wait,
No,
leave it
I
on.
think it's all right.
Loosey goosey, baby.
We get a pass today. It's
We get a pass
It's
today?
100 degrees.
We get a pass
Yeah,
today?
it was 100 degrees.
I mean,
It's
I-
92.
Did it actually hit that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll
Yeah.
have to, I mean, like, it probably is affecting the audio horribly, but, you know.
Nah, it's fine. It's been on in the past. It's been fine.
Sure, yeah.
If we were quiet, would we be able to hear how it's affecting the audio?
There's only really one way to find out.
I mean, if the listener is using a good podcast app, is what I'll say, like maybe Overcast,
It makes
it'll
up for
take care of that.
It makes
It'll
up for
clean
us
it up.
not editing the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it gets edited.
The heavy
It's
edits.
edited, yeah.
It gets
the
edited.
intro gets edited, but it doesn't get edited much. Okay, wait. So I forgot to say last week. Was it last week? Let's see. My mom texted me about something on the show. Oh yeah, we were talking about the tap dancing, and my mom said that she destroyed all the evidence of me tap dancing.
Oh, there's
Oh,
evidence
no.
of
Mom.
me.
Yeah, that's
Got a
crazy.
DVD.
It's crazy. But she also just texted me like it instead of just liking the stream. Why don't you just like the stream?
That's so good.
Such a mom thing to do.
we'll have
it.
we'll have a conversation
I would say
about
that
later.
means more though because we're talking about it. So.
Yeah, I mean that's proof that she is watching right now. That she knows. Morning, welcome to Don't Be the Artist. I'm Hagen.
I'm Dave.
I'm Adam.
And I'm quitting. I'm Jackson. Today is theoretically my last day as a co-host on the Don't Feed the Artists podcast, which to this day, I'm not going to look at the screen. I do not know if there's an S at the end of that.
Oh, there is.
There is.
I played the wrong sound. Would you say again your name?
I'm quitting. Thank you. That's a recording of us clapping a moment ago for Hagen.
Wait a minute. If you touch it again, you can turn it off.
This whole time?
It went yep.
No, it starts the next one.
Like a Kanye beat
Yeah,
or like a Pharrell beat.
that's pretty bad. So yeah,
Like a Kanye beat.
it's pretty bad, man. Sick burn.
Yeah, but I'm Jackson, and if this is your first episode, this is my last episode. So one in, one out. We'll treat it like a restaurant here. But yeah, this is my last week on the show as an official co-host. I'm sure I'll be back in the future as, you know, for funsy co-host. I don't know what you would call that, but little one-offs if I got anything, if I actually finish that script I've been writing for a while about the music cruise industry. Or if you guys just want to, you know, have me talk shit for an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
If Adam goes to
maybe
the
if you-
boonies again.
yeah. If I go to the middle of
truth,
nowhere.
The truth of the matter is that we're not friends anymore. So he will not be back.
That's
Yeah,
true.
he didn't want to research honky tonks. So
Yeah. That was the last straw.
I did genuinely, when they asked me, what would you like to do for your last episode, which you'll find out soon enough, I genuinely thought, okay, I'm gonna use my card and I'm just gonna make them do the honky tonk episode, and I was gonna like force everybody to like go out to a honky tonk together and do all that. And I was like, that's a lot of work. And it's
is a lot
100
of work.
degrees
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah. And Adam doesn't have jeans. So
What?
you kind of have to wear blue jeans and boots to a honky tonk.
He doesn't have boots.
I don't
Dave's
have
nervous.
boots, but I wear jeans like
He has
80% of the year.
If he's not wearing those
Yeah.
shorts, those exact shorts,
Yeah, this is the only
he's-
pair of shorts I
he's
have.
Well, you have multiple versions of those
Yeah,
shorts,
yeah, that's fair.
and then he has blue jeans. He
Yeah.
doesn't have black jeans. Do you have
I don't
black
think
jeans?
so, no.
Yeah, okay. Do you have one pair of dress pants?
No, I have 3. I have 3 suits.
Oh.
Yeah.
God damn, that's crazy.
If I'd known we were supposed to wear suits,
Would you have worn a suit?
No, not today.
I definitely would not.
Absolutely not.
Not even like a top, like the top hat, like your torso.
Like you're on a
That's,
Zoom
that's
meeting?
the worst part.
Oh wait, do you have one of those shirts that looks like a tuxedo?
I don't actually, but that would.
I feel like you would have that.
Yeah, he definitely does come off as that.
Yeah.
I probably did have that.
I had that at one
I'm
point.
not, I wouldn't
You
be
did?
surprised if I had that.
Yeah, it was a Kill Switch Engage branded one.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
That's different.
Yeah.
counts. But
That doesn't
barely.
make it better. I don't feel like.
I wasn't saying it makes it better. I was just
But
saying I
Dave
had
was
it.
talking like it did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I feel like Dave, you have one of those, right?
No, I don't. No.
I feel like you would. See,
Try to swing that at a gig where he has
Yeah.
to wear a suit and just show up.
Dude,
Like-
I barely wear suits to gigs now. I just wear a black T-shirt and black jeans and
Dave,
black
what's your
shoes.
official Canadian perspective on the Canadian tuxedo?
I think I would like to know where that came from and why that's a thing.
I almost went for it. And I was like, no, I don't
No,
know.
it's not
It
worth
doesn't
it.
matter. It can't
anyone-
be that interesting.
For anyone who might not know, the Canadian tuxedo is where you wear all denim.
Yeah, which
it's like-
seems like a weird thing. Like it seems like something you would do here.
seems
Yeah.
like more
Like
work.
a default.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
Texas
that
tuxedo.
too.
Do you
Yeah.
know what Mario's overalls are made out of?
Yes.
Denim, denim, denim.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
You should have done it then.
Well,
You're the resident video game guy.
Yes, I
yeah.
am.
especially now.
Of course.
Yeah, with me leaving, I pass on the torch of video games.
And I have a Mario sound on the board too.
That has like a bass in the beginning. Hit it again.
Yeah.
What's that bass? Y'all hear that, right?
Yeah.
Only a little bit.
It's like it's from the trailer, so I don't know.
It's the big like Interstellar trailer sound.
It's better than that Rogue One.
I thought that was pretty
siren.
cool, but then it wasn't in the movie.
That's true. It wasn't.
There was a lot of things in that trailer
Yeah, I
that
know.
weren't
That
in the
entire
movie.
trailer was not
Yeah.
in the movie. The movie was good still.
We won't have Jackson for this kind of conversation, but thank God we have Adam for this, because otherwise it would just be you talking to both of us.
That's fine. I would do it.
and just not. We'd be like, okay.
I would do it. Give me the chance.
You talk to us about DC, and we'll just be like,
Hey,
uh huh.
you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Batman?
Let's get nuts.
Do you want to talk about the Flash at all?
I mean,
Non-spoilers, obviously.
yeah, non-spoilers. I'm a huge Flash fan.
Yeah, because
huge-
my mom, your mom, or Heather, my brother, and your mom.
Heather's your mom?
No, absolutely not.
I
Soundboard sounded like Tim Allen.
yeah, that's weird.
I don't know if that's a
also
good
I
thing.
also didn't press a button.
It's sounding on its own.
I'm a huge DC fan. I'm a huge Flash fan. I would give that movie like at best a 7 out of 10. It's good. It would have been better if it came out when it was supposed to come out in 2018. Just because there was a lot of hype behind it. The movie basically means nothing now because James Gunn is like rebuilding the universe. So anything that the movie was gonna, it's just it's fine. But
It was set up in a bad spot with the
Yeah.
timing.
and also set up in the bad spot in that their star is a criminal.
Yeah.
What did he do?
They
Well, which of the things?
I did a lot of
He
stuff.
did a lot of
Oh,
things.
okay.
Yeah,
they did a lot of things.
I actually read like a timeline of this if you want me to tackle it.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So it mostly starts with the like actually verified thing that like happened, which was they choked a female fan in Iceland, and it's on video. I remember when that video came out, like everyone was like, "Well, this is clearly staged and all that," and like it ended up that the person recording the video was the girl getting choked's friend, and they were like, "Oh, I thought it was a joke," and then I realized, oh, he's like on top of her yelling, saying like, "Hey, this is what you wanted, right? This is what you wanted." It's
Yeah,
like it's fucking crazy.
the video is them going, You want to fight? You want to fight? And then like grabs their neck and shoves them to the ground.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Ezra Miller drops this person.
Was it like a psychotic break?
I would say all of this is.
That's what the PR would have. What the PR would have you believe.
I would believe that even if it wasn't PR.
Sure.
Yeah, still a criminal.
Right. I guess what I was alluding to is that like they're actually making an effort to be
Oh,
better,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
I don't believe. But then after that, I lose the timeline here. But basically, in Hawaii, at one point, they were staying with some people and stole their passports or something like that.
Yeah.
and
That's
then,
a dick move.
It's also like false imprisonment, I
Yeah,
think, technically.
and then they
If
assaulted
you're not
someone in
from
a
the US at
bar
that point.
in Hawaii, right? Then they,
Well, yeah, that's right after that.
Yep.
They basically ended up giving the stuff back to the people they were staying with. And then we're at a bar in Hawaii, and somebody at this karaoke bar started doing that song from A Star Is Born. What's that song? Like Shallows or something?
Yeah.
And Ezra Miller kept saying, "Don't do that song," and they were like, "Well, I'm gonna do it." And then they like threw a chair at the person. Ezra Miller did, and then got arrested. And there's the great
Not off the deep end no more.
there's the great the arrest video where they take Ezra Miller's flash ring out of their pocket.
So funny.
And Ezra Miller keeps saying, "No, don't take my flash ring." I'm paraphrasing here, but like,
Yeah.
"Don't take my flash ring. That's important to me." And it's like, holy shit.
So like for those who don't know, the character the Flash has a ring they wear that keeps it's like their suit is inside the ring. So if they want to like quickly like be the Flash, they just press a button, the suit pops out, and then they can change without anybody seeing them. Now Ezra Miller kept that from the movie and is like
The actual prop.
and is
Wearing
wearing it
it.
everywhere they go.
Which is already cringy.
Also tells
Everywhere
you
they
how
go.
long ago that movie was done.
Everywhere they go, they're wearing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So then basically now they came back to the, I guess Hawaii is part of the U.S. And came back to the lower 48. Thank you. Actually, I've never understood that. They call it the lower 48.
But it's more
But-
further north.
Yeah.
It's because of Alaska.
Yeah. But Hawaii is the most southern state.
Nobody thought about Hawaii.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the unfortunate truth.
Wow.
Goddamn. But basically, now they're back in the mainland U.S. and then all these allegations of grooming came out,
Kidnapping.
and then they did actually robbed somebody's house.
Yeah.
Basically, took liquor from their house. Like basically, the story sounds like they went into somebody's like a neighbor's house or something like that, and just took their alcohol in the sense of like, "Oh, I'm drunk. I'm gonna take your stuff." Not in the sense of like, "Hey, I'm sticking you up." That
This is
kind
a
of thing.
Put him up. Give me your
Put
Jim
him up.
Beam.
I'm the Flash.
I'm the Flash. Give me your stuff.
I've got the ring, the suit, and the thing.
Don't you understand? I need the calories.
So, yeah, and then
That's unfortunate. We're making fun of someone with mental health issues, but
well,
They're
fuck
a
this person.
criminal.
This person,
Yeah, they're-
yeah, I get it.
seems to be a cult leader, like
Yeah.
a minor
Yeah.
cult leader,
I mean,
like a
at
failed
that point, you
Jared
just gotta,
Leto.
you have to go double down on doing things that are bad ideas.
So then they did the whole apology. Here's the big thing, and I actually was just listening to a podcast of somebody reviewing the movie, and I'm just gonna reiterate what they said. This is the Weekly Planet, who I'm quoting here, but they basically were saying like, but during this whole thing, Warner Brothers never said anything. Not in the sense of like, hey, we don't condone what they did, but we really stand by the movie we made and the people who worked really hard on it. We don't condone what happened. They didn't even do that. They literally said nothing about it. So then now, Ezra Miller ended up saying like, oh, I was going through or am going through a mental crisis, something like that. And seeking treatment. And then people were like, well, they're not going to be at the movie premiere in LA. They were.
That's the only press they
just
did.
wild.
Warner Brothers basically had like a couple options. One of them being Ezra Miller does zero press for the movie, or they just ignore the whole thing, or they like reshoot the whole
I was
thing.
gonna say there were rumors they were doing that.
Which
right?
now, having seen the movie, Ezra Miller is in 95% of it
Yeah,
twice.
Yep.
So it's like,
yeah. It's
which that's not a spoiler.
yeah, that's all in the trailers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like it is very much they went with the route of Ezra Miller will do no press. Like they barely spoke at the premiere. They did like 1 or 2 interviews at the premiere. That was the only press they did. Every other bit of press was done by the director, the girl who played Supergirl, and that's pretty much it. Like Michael Keaton didn't do any press. Ben Affleck did a little bit of press, but not really.
Michael Keaton is apparently like working on another movie right now. So that's why they couldn't be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's The Flash for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I will reserve my judgment.
I'll say that as like a huge Flash fan, the TV show just ended, and then this movie comes out, and I'm fucking left with nothing. It was all bad.
You still got your car.
Yeah, my car.
Are you gonna rename your car?
No, because I still love the Flash.
Yeah.
Criminal can't take that away from me.
They did ask me at the advanced screening I went to. They said, "So like, are you a big fan of the Flash?" I said, "Yeah, I named my car after him." I genuinely said that to like the Warner Brothers just like paid rep.
Damn it.
They said, "Oh, you're gonna love this." And I said, "Oh yeah."
As someone who named their car after it, I didn't love it.
Oh yeah.
That's a better response at those advanced screenings than before. I've been to one for some other franchise thing. I think Harry Potter spin-off movie. And I was like, no, I've never even heard of it. And they were just like, what, you never heard of Harry Potter? I'm like, nah, no idea. It just seemed cool.
The advanced screening
They
for
seemed so
that
perplexed by that.
I went to, like, it wasn't sold out. Like, there were empty seats. Like, it was like a good Friday night
And not
crowd
like
looking
reserved press seats.
No,
That's pretty
it didn't seem like that. Just wild. Afterwards, they gave us a poster that I took for Hagen. There were two options. There were 2 variants.
That's a cool poster.
And I said, "Can I take both?" And they said, "No, you have to pick one." So I picked one. And then we're walking by, and there was another screening for a movie about, apparently it's a Hulu movie that's out now, about the guy who invented hot Cheetos.
Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah, Barbie.
Yeah.
And then Barbenheimer. So then we saw that, and at their screening, they just were giving people hot Cheetos, and I was holding this Flash poster, and I looked at them, and I said, "Can I trade you?" And they said, "Did you watch the hot Cheeto movie?" I said, "No," and they said, "You can't have the hot Cheetos." I was like, what the fuck? I sat through that movie, and you won't give me anything?
I want some damn hot Cheetos.
Is there really a movie about that?
Yeah, I think Ava Longoria directed it. So I don't know.
We're really making movies about anything.
I would
now,
have preferred to see that, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's like a bad movie or wouldn't be good, but that seems like a very strange
hot
pitch.
Cheetos movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you would prefer to see a Hot Cheetos movie than watch The Flash.
Fuck yeah, I would.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Batman's in
That was how that meeting went with
There
the
are-
movie
there-
execs.
There are 2 Batmans in it.
Really?
In the
which,
Cheetos
which
movie?
Batmans?
Batfleck.
Yeah, Batfleck and Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
He was
he's
in
it.
that movie about McDonald's.
He was actually. That was a good movie.
Yeah,
for what it was.
look at that. Look at Jackson.
Huh?
I understood that.
I tried.
We don't want to do spoilers like
Yeah.
for like on audio. I mean, you could show it again, but yeah. What are you looking at? Why'd you flip off the camera?
Because they were
he's
trying to
quitting.
say the spoilers.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. I
Oh.
see.
Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah.
You can't fire me. I quit. So what we had planned for today is just literally, I have had this document on my phone that I've kept for a while that I have called DFTA Shooting the Shit. And it has literally just been stuff like when I'm driving, I'm like, oh, that's a question I'll ask at some point, and then never did. And it just got longer and longer. And I was like, cool, let's do this. It's very minimal effort. We can just chill.
Yeah.
And, like, you could, like, if you theoretically wanted to, like, wear a suit on a 100-degree day, you don't have to worry about performance,
Oh. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I'm like, I want to go change into my suit.
You had time. So
I
with your
did.
I
I did, but now I really want to go change.
well,
I kind of had time. We were talking, and then everything broke.
yeah, I as soon as I said that, I was like, well, I'm sure you're sweating from what you had to deal with out of like stress.
It's all right. It's just my legs all over my chair.
Nice.
It's just sticky.
Ooh, ah.
What you got?
First one, I don't know how I ever thought that this was related to music, but is there anything you guys do for free that people normally get paid for? I'll start. I remember why I got this like thought in my head, is because I was driving around and I saw people in those like wrapped cars, like where it'll be like like an advertisement. People get paid to do that. I don't think that they get paid like annually or anything. I think it's like a flat fee, like $500 to like put this emblem like on your car, that kind of thing, like M&Ms. And I was like, I would genuinely for free if somebody was like, I will put the Dr. Pepper logo on your car. Fuck yeah, I'll do it.
Really?
I would absolutely do that for free.
Something that
we can make that happen, right?
If you want to pay for it, go for it. I like 100% will let that be a thing.
Okay.
That's
something
not a problem for me.
something that someone gets paid for that you would do for free. That's what you're asking.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And also, like, it's putting you guys in a bad spot. Like, if you say it out loud, somebody might, like Adam just did, be like, cool, I'm going to do that to this person.
I'll do that for free.
Yeah, so, like...
Like I was thinking about the question as the reverse at first because I was like, we do this podcast for free. People get paid for this shit.
Well, there it is. It's the podcast.
Yeah, people get paid a lot of money for these.
But I mean, like something that I would like something that I would do for free that someone gets paid for. I can't think of anything.
We do
off
some
the top of my
gigs.
head.
Well, that's what I was saying. Don't say that. They do not play gigs for free.
No, nobody does.
They do not do that. I have to pay them
does.
for every rehearsal, especially after quitting the show. Their rates went suspiciously up, and it had nothing to do with the Fed. That was a good one, right?
Yeah, that's great.
I do think that probably. I mean, like actually though, there is some music stuff that I think to myself like I should be getting paid for what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's plenty of rehearsals I go to that I'm like I should be making money doing this.
There's a whole gray area of being a gigging musician.
Yeah.
That
Just remember, this is the softball.
yeah, that's fine. That we just don't get paid to learn the material.
Yeah.
And when you spend a lot of time, like I have been so far this year, and you have been as well, learning a fuck ton of songs. No offense, because I love learning your songs, and I love working on them with you. But
I love
every
the way
other
you make
gig,
it.
yeah, it's fucking annoying, and it's starting to get to me where I'm like, either make me charts or pay me to do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, like it's definitely a thing where I feel like some people don't really know how to show even appreciation for the thing that you did.
Yeah.
Right. And that's kind of the thing where I draw a weird line of like, I just would love to see that you appreciated the fact that I did this thing for you without like, yes, I am enjoying playing music, but like you do realize that I've played with, a large number of bands in the last year. Like last I counted, I think I've played with like 14 bands in the last year, and I'm sure
Yeah.
your number is higher than that. It
It
not
might
like,
be right around the same.
like it's fun for me to play music, but also like you're for some reason thinking that you're on the same level as everybody else. When
Yeah.
it's just it doesn't work that way. So,
Yeah.
So I think I mean I do that for free.
I mean,
But-
like musically, there is for me. I wouldn't say I would do it for free, but I've been trying to get us like more opening slots for like
Yeah.
national acts, and I have been like underselling the fee that I would require.
Yeah.
And specifically because I want the opportunity. I really like you guys give me a 20-minute set for this amount of dollars. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
and I-
actually a good exposure gig.
yeah.
I do know something that I would do for free that a lot of people make money off or they get into it to make money, and a lot of people get paid to do it. And I
Being vague here makes it so much worse. I love this. I love that. Like people fill in the gaps here.
I would 110%, as long as I didn't have to do it full time, I would stream video games, not make any amount of money, and be okay with that. I would have zero. I would have like maybe a little bit of issue with it, but like
So streaming plays like a part in the enjoyment for you.
no, I'm just saying like I do enjoy streaming. Like I like it. I don't have to stream video games to like it, but I do like streaming. And I know a lot of people get into streaming to make money, and a lot of people make a fuck ton of money streaming. And if I didn't make money off of streaming, it would be specifically video games. I would be okay with it.
Yeah.
It would be fun still. It'd be I like engaging with chat. If I have free time, I like building alerts. I like building the setup that I have, making the camera look good, et cetera, et cetera. So
Yeah.
Messing with OBS.
yeah.
Don't
It's
mess
a love-hate
with him. He's dead,
relationship.
dude. Pour one out for him.
Oh, it didn't, dude. That are you?
That's disrespectful.
Did that go down your sleeve?
Yeah.
It's a prop, Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
We haven't
a
seen him
prop
drink one on the
suit.
show in a
Prop
while.
suit. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a fake
Pulls
suit.
off from the back.
I wish. I'm like Party Boy. I heard the Party Boy song recently, and I was like, ooh, that sounds good.
I don't know that one right off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm not going to sing it right now because it won't like have the effect.
Right.
Yeah. So, Adam, you got nothing you'd do for free? All about capitalism?
No, I think design stuff kind of falls into that for me because it's like I tried to make that my career and it didn't work out, and I still enjoy doing it. And if the idea that somebody wants to do something fits with what I want to do, like it has for a lot of your stuff recently, it's like that's fun for me to do, and it's I don't know, just a nice thing to be able to work on, and it's like not having it like tied to a job kind of helps in some ways.
Yeah.
But if you come to me with a bad idea, then I'm going to tell you need to pay me.
Yeah.
That's right.
You heard it here first.
That's
people.
right, people.
And you do good work. It's not
Great
just
work.
like
I'm glad you think so.
This is a friend who I can get like do for cheap to free. It's good work. So if
So
anyone
you don't want
wants
to replace
to
me
actually,
with AI.
no, I've never actually tried that for any of that kind of stuff. But
I feel like you could get some interesting results for like looking around the room at all these posters. You could get some interesting like starting points with
Yeah.
AI is I think probably the best route that'll be for design. But
well, I like I notice a lot of people for like concert posters and stuff are getting more, and I think it's because a lot of us at our level play multiple shows like a month, if not a week. So having a unique poster over and over again is difficult. So a lot of people will go the route of like, here's a band picture and that kind of stuff, which is totally fine. But like, I like driving around and thinking of ideas. And, you know, like even today on my way here, I came up with an idea. I was like, I need to like text Adam that before I forget that for some future idea. So I think it's fun,
yeah.
but yeah.
Did you guys see that the Google Chat GPT equivalent? What's called Bard, I think.
What a horrible name.
Yeah, it's
They're
horrible.
they're really not good at names anymore.
I feel like me saying this like out loud feels like I'm breaking some kind of rule, but it's been shared on Twitter a bunch. People are getting like Windows activation codes from ChatGPT.
That's pretty great.
It's formulating. It's so funny.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
So does anybody have any musical hot takes, or I don't like this term, guilty pleasures? Mine is Weezer. I love Weezer. Not everything they've done, but first two albums I do love. And then Green Album with Island in the Sun, I do really like it. The one with Beverly Hills, Make Believe, I think it's a great album.
Now-
I've seen them live maybe 4 times. Fun time each time.
I'm not.
First time,
are you
long
saying?
time.
Are you saying that that's your guilty pleasure quote unquote?
That's my guilty pleasure, and
Okay.
it's also my hot take that I think Weezer, specifically Rivers Cuomo, is like an impeccable songwriter. I think just sometimes he gets in the way of himself of trying to chase a pop pendulum, where if he just kind of stayed where he is, he would, you know, people would gravitate towards it more.
I think that this could go both ways, but I was thinking about my hot take, and I think that my hot take is that I fucking hate Weezer.
That's fine.
Like,
I don't think that's a hot take at all.
Man,
I really don't.
I don't think it's a hot take at all. I don't think it's a hot take.
I get trashed on for hating Weezer. Like that's a people are like, you hate Weezer? Yeah, but like I feel like of all of the like bands out there that I don't like, that's the one that feels like the one that is the weirdest one to dislike, and the one that I get the most shit for.
What are your feelings on the Beatles? I thought like you were on the fence of like I'm not really a fan of theirs.
Not a fan of the Beatles.
That you'll get way more shit for that.
Yeah, but
Over the past couple weeks, I've been getting shit
less
about
and
that.
less.
But I also like that's one of those things that feels like people who are giving me shit because I don't like the Beatles are I don't know, trying to make up for something and or virtue signaling the fuck out of me that like they like you don't like the Beatles, bro? Do you even like music? Shut the fuck up. Like,
Well, you're
yes.
a musician. You at least appreciate what they've done, the course they've set us on, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, realistically,
I thought so.
Realistically, I think I think
That happened to me
I mean,
on Friday.
music wouldn't exist.
I said
without
that
the
to you
Beatles.
last week.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, you said that to me?
Yeah, I thought you were straight up like in front of me, mocking the shit out of me. Did you go there too? Did you go there too? I was like, the audacity of this motherfucker
You
right
said
now.
that to
Yeah.
me. Wow.
But I didn't say it like
You
with,
can't
with a
quit me,
smug.
I'm fired.
This is how checked out he is.
I didn't say it
It's
with a
hot in
smug
here.
like you have to agree.
I
but-
do think that, and this is my hot take about the Beatles, and that my hot take is that I do not like Ringo Starr at all. I think that everybody
He's playing near
know,
here.
yeah, I saw. Everyone came out of that documentary and they were like, I was at this bachelor party a couple weeks ago, and it was with a bunch of old people. and
None of them are going
where
to
are the
replace
cancel
me
buttons?
now.
and there was somebody there who I had just met, and they were like, they were asking me and another friend about like what it's like being a musician, all these musician questions, and the Beatles came up, and I started bringing up that documentary in particular, like the parts of it that stressed me out, because they were talking about like, you know, like relationships amongst musicians, and I was like, that Beatles documentary is a great example of that, because you got to watch these people that everybody idolized fucking fight and also be awkward and like not get anywhere for a long time, and it's
Yeah.
like it's a great example of watching sometimes musicians in a room. But like they were like, yeah, I came out of the documentary think just like Ringo Starr is amazing. I'm like, in what fucking world did
I enjoyed his candor.
Yeah,
as an outsider.
he was fucking great in the documentary outside of his drumming, because like Paul told him we've already done this, but like
Don't bring us back to November 2021.
yeah.
Yeah.
Paul told him
That
what
was
to
a
play.
bad like holiday season for us.
Paul told him what to play most of the time, and like I just feel like a lot of he has some good parts in there, but I feel like a lot of people are respecting him for the things that I just don't think are like the best things. So that's my Beatles hot take, is that Ringo is a big old poopy doopy in my dipey wipey.
I really don't.
And
I really don't like it. My similar thing is if I bring up like, oh, I play guitar, and there's a specific demographic. It's middle-aged white men, specifically like 50 years or older.
I should have said that instead of old people.
They specifically will say to me, "Oh man, I love Stevie Ray Vaughan."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Oh, fucking kill me now."
Yeah.
I just like there's something about like that style of blues that I'm just like I like nod off, because this is the guitar solo rant again. So I will I rest my case.
You mean he's not the greatest guitarist of all time?
I am in no position to comment on that.
I mean, the answer is no. But
I mean,
Whoa,
there is-
there's
there-
Adam's hot take.
There is no greatest guitarist of
yeah,
all time.
right. That's the real
yeah,
answer.
Yeah, I mean, and also like there's the other thing too is that like
It's
there's-
Meg White, right?
Yeah, Meg White's the best guitar player of all time.
So what about you guys?
Who do you
guys
think's
got
better
anything?
drummer, Ringo or Meg White?
That doesn't matter. Don't answer that. Don't answer it. Fuck. What an asshole. He hates women. God. I told you not to answer it.
and that ageist. Where's the cancel bucks? Fuck, give me all of them, baby.
You guys got anything? And go ahead and give yourself 2 for the Flash poster that I gave you. And give me 1 for giving you the Flash poster.
Okay, you get 1 for giving me the
And,
Flash
and for
poster.
lying to the people from Warner
I
Brothers.
have 1 for having the Flash poster. I have 1
Should I get 1 for quitting?
being ageist. I have 1 for being sexist, and you get 2 for quitting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Oh, man. These are the original ones.
You got the OG Stella Artois.
Very good.
Hot takes, boys. What you got?
I don't think I have any.
Yeah, I don't either,
there's a cancel
unfortunately.
buck.
Yeah.
You got
I just like
something.
everything that's good. No, maybe that I because maybe it could be like a little bit of Stockholm syndrome, but maybe that I like some bro country. I think it's
Like a guilty pleasure.
Do you have an
it's
example?
maybe like like Luke Combs. I think he writes some really cool stuff.
Is that Luke Holmes or Luke Combs?
Combs.
Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Combs.
But I will say that I wouldn't have that take if I hadn't had to play some of that music.
Sean P.
Puff-
Diddy,
P. Diddy,
Combs.
Daddy
That's all I got.
Combs, hair combs.
I feel like I've heard you have hot takes, and then they will dissipate somehow. like your Olivia Rodrigo take initially would be considered a hot
I have
take.
I have very bad radar when it.
You have very very hot takes.
Yeah, and then they fizzle out real
Yeah.
quick.
I'm trying to think of
When
like,
you said when you said like what are your hot takes, my brain was like Olivia Rodrigo sucks.
okay, let's change this.
And I think The Weeknd is overrated.
Let's
there
change.
you go. That's great.
I mean, based on his HBO show, he's kind of overrated.
Honestly, if you guys want to do like a little bonus thing where we just watch that together, I'll stick around for 5 weeks.
Will you for that?
That's how little contention there is in the room right now.
I would do let's sit down, watch it 5 hours in a row together,
And then do a show.
and then do a show immediately, on a Sunday type thing. That'd be fun. I think that we would be very pissy about that. I wonder what would be
okay.
more negative. I'm holding in a burp.
No, don't hold it in.
It was just like coming at me. But yeah,
burp.
that's that Knock Loose song, right?
Yeah.
Burp. Nice. What about this? If you can't answer the hot take one, guilty pleasures. Is there any type of you like film scores? That's got to be yours.
Yeah, I don't feel bad about that though.
You should.
No, you shouldn't. I was
Some of
just
them
joking.
actually, some of them maybe. I think maybe.
You're like, do you hear it? It's like that's one violin just playing one note for a long time. What the fuck
That's
are you
just
talking
Warren
about?
Ellis. Yeah.
Yeah, but contextually, man.
I don't know. I guess I would feel like I would have said guilty pleasure of like listening to pop music, but that's not really a thing anymore because that's what I listen to now.
I used to feel that way
Good
about
job, guys.
like John Mayer. I was like, that's my guilty pleasure music,
Yeah.
and I feel like it still should be. But only reason it's not is because I've like really tried to like get away from that guilty pleasure is a thing.
We shouldn't shame ourselves for what we enjoy listening to.
Like,
Right.
like, are there
Unless
any?
it's bro country.
Unless it's pro country.
But like, if you genuinely like Tekashi 6ix9ine, I'm just like, look, dude sucks. But like,
That's
if you
good
like
for
the
you, though.
music,
Yeah.
I'm fine
Yeah.
with it.
Are there any like huge bands or huge acts that you just like can't fucking stand ever?
Yeah, we don't have the time.
Yeah, I guess
I'll
it's
just
true.
go.
I guess it's
You don't want to hear mine. You
Yeah.
guys know all of
He's
them.
going to
Yeah,
start
yeah,
with
yeah,
Foo
yeah.
Fighters.
I
I
can't.
wouldn't even mention them.
Queens of the Stone
I
Age.
also think
Quatsa.
I think Taylor Swift is overrated too.
Okay.
I think that's
I
fair.
thought he said Taylor Hawkins for a second. I was like,
Taylor, no,
No, I think that's a fair argument
Cancel
to
Buck.
make.
Cancel Buck.
yeah, I was like,
sock me right in the fucking face
He's out
before I
of
even finish it. Yeah, Taylor Hawkins is over.
Dave Grohl busting the door.
Yeah,
with the what
his
is
drum gloves.
Yeah.
No, that's even better. Drum gloves and like barbecue, like stabbers.
Yeah.
One of those egg grills just comes into the shot, takes me out.
A George Foreman. Puts your hands in it. That'd be good.
That's pretty good.
I have so many of those big bands.
No,
I don't
totally.
like
Yeah.
Coldplay. I really don't like Mumford and
Right,
Sons. I
yeah.
wouldn't have mentioned Foo Fighters.
No,
I
No, I
almost
was
said
just
Foo
joking.
of the Stone Age. Like
Fools of the Stone Age.
I think I think between the two of us, I think we could find a number of big bands that we don't like. I think there's got to be something because I feel like thinking back on stuff that we have like topics we've gone over, I feel like there was something that was hated at some point, but I just can't think of what it was.
I mean, there's a lot of those like formative things that like we really like. I've just like gravitated away from, which is like I'm not a fan of the Beatles. I understand they write good music, but it's just not for me. I don't like Pink Floyd. It's like that whole era of music.
I'm right there
Pink
with
Floyd
you.
would be a good one for
yeah,
me.
Pink
That-
Floyd's a good one.
Because Pink Floyd was one of those I listened to it a lot in high school, and now I'm like, they have one good album I like.
We're all missing the weed.
It's
Led
that-
Zeppelin.
Oh, that sucks. That's
So-
a
I know.
bummer.
I'm
No,
sorry.
and I think I'm
I
there
waited until
too.
after I was best man at your wedding to tell you that.
And I think I'm there too. Like I'll listen to it if it's on, but like I'm never gonna put it on.
I mean, to your overrated point, Led Zeppelin's overrated for a lot of
Well, I think
As somebody who likes them, they're overrated in a lot of ways because people are like, oh, look at that, that's amazing. Nobody else could do.
Of that era. And
think-
even they're not of that era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the reason Led Zeppelin will stick with me is because I think that like
'Cause you have
of
a
that,
tattoo.
Well, sure that, but I think the of that era, they will like each member was amazing at the thing that
Oh,
they
yeah,
did.
yeah.
Jimmy Page is the weakest link in that band.
Agreed.
No,
yeah,
he's really good at stealing.
but like
That was
still,
his thing.
But like still, if we're gonna question Jimmy Page's amazingness, then Ringo Starr is trash. Put him in the ground.
Okay.
Right?
That's fair.
We could not even begin to say that other people are not good if Jimmy Page is just bad, right?
He's just sloppy.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think sloppy's
John Bonham's
fine.
horribly sloppy.
But I love his playing.
Jackson Russo's horribly sloppy.
You're not as sloppy as you think.
Oh, I am.
Should see him in the
That sounds
bedroom.
like a challenge.
What about? Do you guys think that mediocre / like bad music serves a purpose? From the there shouldn't be a guilty pleasure type thing. But I think about like if we're talking about movies, like people talk about so bad it's good or like turn your brain off type stuff. And I think those like genuinely serve a purpose of like I do really like stuff that makes me think. I like stuff like that. And if we're talking, like, I could see people really liking that in the sense of like just like it was like it's bombastic, it's fantastical for certain people, that kind of thing. Is there music that's like bad or mediocre that's like, yeah, this is doing it for me? I love that song Pompeii by Bastille, and I wonder if that's a mediocre song. The
Yeah.
I love that song. Gets me going.
I feel like songs like that are clearly of a time.
Yeah.
You know, like the Haze and the Hose era of like 2016, 2017.
Stetson folk.
The Stetson folk.
I think that's such an interesting one because I feel like bad. I think that we would all most people would agree that there is bad or mediocre music, but I think
But we don't listen to it.
You're right in the whole like guilty pleasure thing, right? Because I think that like if I have something I like that I would consider a quote unquote guilty pleasure, I wouldn't call it bad.
Yeah, you obviously don't think it's bad if you're listening to it.
Right? Yeah, I certainly think that I like it, but I guess I would get why other people don't like it. Is why it's a guilty pleasure.
What about like stuff that we grew up with? So for me, Cradle of Filth, and I listen to that now. I'm like, I don't like this still, but
It's
like
kind of more of like I don't get it.
it's fun. Like I mean, for me, I go back to. I'm like, I don't like this anymore, but like this is fun to like go back and be like, I was head over heels for this at one point.
Yeah, I mean, I think to that point, like I as you're saying that, I was thinking about Slipknot, and Slipknot would be like a huge one for me from like in high school.
Is that a guilty pleasure?
No, but it's like a thing that people would maybe call bad or mediocre, right? I think that there's also a thing like where like Slipknot covers this ground, and maybe Cradle of Filth does too, for people who are like I'm getting into heavy music. This is the heaviest fucking shit I've ever heard in my entire life. You know?
Oh yeah.
But it maybe isn't good. I don't know, but I still love it.
Did you see that video while we're talking about Slipknot of Max Weinberg watching Jay play on stage for Father's Day?
I didn't see
That's
it.
awesome.
They were on tour in the same city, and so the Bruce Springsteen show, surprise, surprise, was over before the Slipknot show. And it's just a video of Max Weinberg standing there in a suit, just watching his son play, and it's like from backstage, and you can see the drum set, and he's just like that. I'm like, this is the funniest video, but also the sweetest fucking video at the same time.
Yeah.
It's so sweet.
Meanwhile, you got like people like fathers taking their daughters to the Eras tour right now, and people are like, this is a core memory right here, and that's the core memory right there.
Yeah.
He's got a mask on. There's Tortilla Man right there. I'm sure Max Weinberg doesn't talk like that.
But not the other guy. He's gone now.
I don't know.
Fired.
Yeah.
I've lost
Craig
my
got fired.
I've lost my lore.
I think
Craig, not
The
Chris
keyboard
Fenn.
keyboard player, yeah.
They had a keyboard player.
He was like one of the DJ keyboard
Okay.
people. Yeah.
I always assumed they were DJs.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of stuff that I listened to when I was younger that I just have heard recently that I'm like, ugh.
You're still into Incubus, right?
Yeah, every now and again I hear them, but I do also see that they're still touring and doing stuff, and I'm like, that's really cool. But they're not aging well, I think, in terms of like their notoriety and popularity.
Yeah, not their looks.
No, they're aging wonderfully. Brandon Boyd is the handsomest fucking. I think he's got to be close to 50.
Damn.
He's so good looking.
Nice.
But he loves Stevie Ray Vaughan. So, do you guys think that classical music is super popular and recognizable because it's just public domain and anybody can record it and like use it for free?
Yeah, I thought that was a weird question in there because
I think
not
it's
to say
so-
it's a bad question or anything, but it's just yes, I guess that might play a role, but at the same time, like it's not like everybody has only heard the same pieces of classical music.
But like, I guess what I'm getting at here is that why? I mean, it feels like everybody has like some type of root in like classical music. Everyone knows what Beethoven sounds like or Mozart. You may not know the names of the songs or the movements, but like you know what Moonlight Sonata is, that kind of stuff. And I think that like I just feel like public domain has some type of play in that, but maybe not.
I'm sure it does. I think that's a good point because public domain changes a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like, I think when we start to see certain trends of movies being remade and stuff like that, you start to go, oh, maybe it's public domain.
Like, would you, let's say The Weeknd took all of his biggest hits and made them public domain, and then anybody could print them. That means anybody could print it, make money off of Blinding Lights. Is that what that song was called? I didn't want to say Blinded by the Light. But anybody could print that song and make money off of it. Anybody could put it on streaming and make money off of it. Would that then 100 years from now be much more famous than any of its like counterparts, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I do think that does play a part, but I think that for classical music there is a couple of there's two big distinctions, and I think The Weeknd would still fall. Like if you did it with pop artists, I think it would still work, but I think there are two big distinctions. One being we use classical music in early childhood education and in music education forever. That's our standard for music education.
Do you think that's just because it's free?
I think that's one part of it, and I think that there's a great video Adam Neely did about like music theory being racist, and I think that's
I don't want to hear about Adam Neely.
I think that's a pretty good like reason as to why as well. Music theory, like classical music and music theory being like just being part, like Western, like that kind of Western classical music being part of the education system for this long. It's not going to go away now.
Yeah, it's steeped.
Well, cynically though, to your point about it being free, corporations are going to want to make money off of early childhood music development.
Yeah.
Well, and I know,
but they still will use a lot of. I
guess they would use classical because they don't have to pay for it, though.
And then they can charge for whatever their
There you
stuff
go.
is. But then
We figured out our exit plan for podcast.
then the other thing is that a lot of times, like in churches, the hymns are already done, but a lot of times they just repurpose melodies and use that as for the church. For example, I was at a wedding and they used a very famous classical piece for this hymn. It was like we were just given the lyrics to sing in the church, but it was a really famous classical piece of the melody. I was like, why is this the case? So I think that would be something that would also cause like classical music being pushed through the church and being pushed through education.
Yeah, I would just I'm just always curious because I remember I heard that like those stories of like sometimes there would be like people, maybe not from ASCAP or BMI, that kind of thing, who would like go to like classes and like universities and would kind of like sit in the back to see if the teacher was going to play a pop song like over the speakers during like a session, because they're not allowed to do that without paying for the rights, that kind of stuff. So I'm just curious. I doubt, well, even then I was going to say, I doubt that like elementary school teachers or like early child development teachers are thinking about that kind of stuff. But like, I assume most, if not all of them, are probably trained in the university system. So like maybe they are conditioned to be like, well, I have to use this.
Well, and then the other thing too is like to the point of like I think that because it is all fair use, that's one reason why they're using it. I think to the point of if The Weeknd, like you used the example, if that became all fair use, I think that would also mean like it would get used a lot more in specific things, but I think that would get used a lot more in like media. Whereas classical music gets used in media a lot, but it's becoming less and less of a thing. Yeah. It was definitely a thing, or just like in general only scoring things instead of soundtracking things.
Well, like 2001 A Space Odyssey is a good example of that. It's all pre-existing music.
Yeah.
Didn't like Kubrick do that like a lot though? Wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he specifically did, but that's probably the best example I can think of like he commissioned a full score and then was like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think the other thing is that the culture from when classical music started, like when it was most publicly performed, that was the main event of the evening to do.
Right.
Whereas now our culture is The Weeknd is listened to peripherally.
Yeah.
And that's why, even if it were public domain, I think classical music is going to outlive any of the music that happens now.
Sure.
Because it's so steeped in the culture through the ways that you just mentioned, Hagen.
Yeah, yeah.
But also that it's just like more people are going to remember it because the people who remember things more typically listen to classical music more than they listen to The Weeknd.
Well, and like the we might have talked about it whenever it was announced, but the like Apple Music now has that classical music app.
Yeah.
Like it's, and I don't know if you've checked it out at all, but it is bizarre what they consider classical music.
It's basically just instrumental music. in a lot of
Broadway
cases.
soundtracks are making it on there.
You're kidding me,
original
really?
Original recordings.
Super fucking weird.
That's weird.
What's
Yeah.
the definition of classical music then? That's what I'm wondering.
I think it has to fit in like a certain time range.
I think we argued similarly about this in the past about like what makes something dad rock, and I think you guys were on the side of like, well, it's the stuff Led Zeppelin, the stuff we were just referring to earlier, Pink Floyd, and I said, well, I think it's like it creeps, and I think that like Nirvana
Like it moves
is
over time. Yeah.
I think Nirvana is getting to the point where they already are or
Oh, yeah.
will be dad rock in like
Yeah.
10 years,
Slash
Nirvana is
classic
not
rock.
cool anymore.
right?
It's considered like old music. To
But
people
like
now.
it's not even that like dad rock is bad. It's that like I think it does like
it feels
at
dated.
some point the younger generation will be like, oh, that not like it is my dad listens to it.
Yeah,
so
by
like
virtue of
Modest
the
Mouse
fact
could
that-
be that anything.
I noticed that in my younger students now, they'll say when they reference classic rock, they will say things like, bands, older bands like Nirvana and Led Zeppelin. And
Yeah,
it's
Foo
they're-
Fighters.
Which I think is okay.
The further you get away from the
Yeah,
history of that stuff, the more it gets pushed all together in
But
one.
and regardless of that, like I think some people get upset because they're like, oh, that means I'm old or something like that,
Yeah.
or you're lumping it in with something else that it's not. But for me, it's like, no, that means that like it's done it. It's a legend now.
It's made it
has
into the
made
lexicon.
it.
Yeah.
Like so,
So
that's the way to think.
The
of it.
definition of classical music, according to Google, is serious or conventional music following long established principles
Serious.
rather than a folk, jazz, or popular tradition.
Wasn't it Mozart that did all those like fart songs?
Yeah, he was a fucking clown.
Is that
Very
classical
serious.
music?
Very serious.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, I feel like we were given a different definition in school.
well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Is that the first thing y'all did? Open your book. Now throw that book away. Here's the definition. Classical.
Well, there is a more specific one.
But
There-
neither of you studied classical, right?
I studied classical.
No, I didn't know that.
I had to take like so many classical history classes.
Okay.
I had to take, I'm sure we had to take like close to the same classical history classes, but then I also had to take 18th century counterpoint, 16th century counterpoint, which was how they wrote music in those eras, and then I had to write music like that.
Whereas that for me was a section of a classical music class.
Yeah.
And I actively tried to not remember any of it,
Nice.
which bit me in the ass in grad school. Because I had to take the entrance classes, and they were like, "You failed this. You have to pay for this class now." And I'm like, "Fuck."
So
The more specific definition is music written in the European tradition during a period lasting approximately from 1750 to 1830, when forms such as the symphony, concerto, and sonata were standardized.
Yeah, so that's
That's more what we would all agree with.
Well, so a lot of people will call stuff, what was it, 1750 after 1830?
Yeah.
So a lot of people will call 1830 up until even like the 1920s classical music.
Right.
Which, like, that was one of my, I remember being a dick about that at some point to my friends when they were like referred to some piece written at that time as classical music. It's like, it's not classical music.
Yeah.
Post-classical.
Well, yeah, because there was always two history classes for
Post-classical.
classical music, and
Yeah,
it was after 1830 and
Yeah.
before 1830.
Yep.
what about compilation albums? You guys did
Like
you ever-
artist compilation now?
Yeah, artist compilations. It could even be like a movie soundtrack. Did you guys ever get into that? I miss that kind of stuff. Like I remember Victory Records used to have that kind of stuff. Warped Tour every year.
Roadrunner Records
I think
did too.
Hot Topic did one.
Hot Topic did one. That's true. What's true?
Also, like you could even broaden this and talk about like Apple would do like single of the week, or like they at the end of the year, I think they would do like
They'd
a
put it
like
all
whole
together,
album.
yeah.
Yeah, like I miss that stuff.
I think it's a worthwhile thing to do if you're putting artists that are less known with artists that are really well known.
I remember Ed Sheeran, A-Team. That was
Yeah.
like a free song of the week, and it was before he was big.
Yeah.
And like there's
Yeah,
a
that was
ton of
his
stuff
first.
like that.
Surely they don't do the free song of the week still, right?
I doubt it. I mean, like because iTunes is quote unquote dead. I mean, whatever.
There's still stuff you can buy in there.
That's
Yeah,
the
no,
name of,
you-
that's also the name of the app on PC is iTunes.
Yeah, and whenever they
For-
announced
for a
that, I
little
was
bit
like,
longer.
what?
Yeah.
It was a weird. thing that they claimed.
No, there's still an iTunes app on your phone.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
music store.
I know. But do you not
weird.
remember them saying that, like, hey, it's like iTunes is dead?
I don't think they said that.
I think they did.
Who are you talking to?
yeah, I was
right
gonna
now?
say, who do we
Jesus
trust?
Christ.
That did.
Calculator boy or
Not a
computer boy?
calculator boy.
Jimmy Iovine might
I'm
have
post
said that. Actually.
calculator.
I could see Jimmy Iovine saying that.
I think that
Iovine,
compilations.
however you say his name.
I think that compilations are definitely like a cool idea. I think that they would be cool to come back in some capacity, but okay, I say this.
Well,
they
right
are
now though, they're just playlists, right?
exactly
Yeah.
the capacity in which compilation albums exist are playlists.
Yeah.
and that's how they will exist forever.
Tell you
like
what
that.
I don't want to see.
or like
is-
artist radio.
Yeah.
What I don't want to see is that like a kind of like banding together of like music scenes doing it. Because I think that feels masturbatory and like here's
Yeah.
the Dallas scene, here's the Fort Worth scene, here's the Denton scene, that kind of thing. I don't love that idea. I do like the idea of there being someone on the outside or like a record label doing it or a magazine or something like that, even those or a website. I like that idea. I don't know why, for some reason, I feel like having a music scene doing itself would come off,
It comes off as like a cool kids club. Like we're gonna pick our friends.
yeah, and like I don't think people would listen to it, or like you're not going to get outsiders, I suppose.
Yeah,
that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved back in the day when I was a kid in the music scene of mine. I remember bands covering each other's songs and doing splits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really
That's cool. Yeah.
Where like the
I mean, like
first
the
half of the
hardcore
record,
scene still does that
yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. I think it's really interesting.
It can be cool. I do find it annoying sometimes because I will want to listen to someone's entire discography and then it's like, okay, well, I'm not going to listen to that half of the record, or I'll listen to one song. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Right.
Like of the other band, that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's the one that kind of misses me, and I don't know why, because I love a compilation. What about bands that are riding the coattail of one album? The obvious one is Weezer.
Another obvious one is 3 Days Grace. I've
No fucking clue.
Well, so here's I've recently figured this out, that the first 2 or 3 albums contain all of 3 Days Grace's huge singles.
Diary of Jane.
I don't know, but the 4th album has a different lead singer.
No, that was Breaking Benjamin. Sorry.
And like,
okay.
are you saying like nobody knows that?
Nobody knows. Like they have 0 hits from any of the albums with a different lead singer.
I can't think of a single 3 Days Grace song.
I think I Hate Everything About You is one of them.
Yep. That Never Too Late.
Yeah, Never Too Late.
Yeah.
Not too late.
Yeah, Robbie somewhere in the world. Our friend Robbie's definitely like someone's calling me.
I have no idea what these songs are.
But but I just found that I'm like, that's super interesting that nobody knows who this
Yeah.
like new guy is.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's tons of bands like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like pretty much all that stuff. Like Red Jumpsuit Apparatus is probably one of
Yep.
those.
Yep. They're playing
The State Fair at
oh.
4 p.m.
I was gonna say they're playing a local festival. They're playing a local festival here in a couple weeks. Next
that's
week.
cool.
They're
really good live. I saw them last year.
I've seen them live too. They're great. I agree. They are billed so low. I was shocked. It's like, this is crazy.
4 p.m. at the Texas State Fair.
Yeah, it's
And then
wild.
We the Kings plays like at 8 p.m.
Hilarious.
I would say Incubus is that band.
I think Oasis is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's Incubus's one? Is it the one
Drive.
with Drive?
Yeah.
Is that what the album's called?
Yeah.
I've never listened to them.
No,
other
the
than-
album's called Make Yourself.
I know that song, Anna Molly.
Yeah.
Anomaly.
I feel is like the question is presented in a way of like, how do we feel about that? Yeah, or is it just like what other bands are there that like what bands exist as a
You tell me.
well.
Well, we can do both.
Yeah. I feel like bands who are off of like living off of like the one album thing. I think that's like in some ways really good and really sad.
Oh, it's good
like,
for them
yeah.
if it's working.
Because they all have other albums.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the fucking bummer of it. Is it's like I wonder in certain situations, like in the 3 Days Grace thing, right? It's like they were told to just push out shit probably because their first album went great, and then it just was like, well, they can't just keep pushing out. It's just not gonna happen. It can't happen. I don't know about like the case of Oasis or Incubus, but I imagine that's the case for a lot of these like these one album bands. Is like they release an album that's great and then they have to do it again and they can't. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
My thing with Oasis is I love their first album, and I think the second album is the one with like everything on it: Champagne Supernova, Wonderwall, everything. Don't Look Back in Anger. That from like front to back is like just hits, and I do think their first album's great, but I don't think most people really listen to it that much for the quote unquote normies. But like people, like Oasis fans, claim that they don't have a blemish in their career. Stuff that maybe
How many albums do they have?
It was like 6 or 7, something like that.
Is it really that
Yeah,
many?
5
It's
or
a
6.
lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and Adam and I listened to it, and we lost steam quick.
There were lots of songs where I was like, I don't remember anything about that
It
one.
sucks. But like, and they were massive. They were playing like football arenas, and just like European football arenas are like something like 80,000 people, like massive.
Minimum, yeah.
It's massive, and they're selling those out. Biggest band in the world. If they did a reunion tour, they'd be set for life if they're not already.
Yeah.
Right.
7 albums.
Yeah. And I just like that's a band that like very much riding the coattails of that one album. There's that Violent Femmes album. I think it's a self-titled.
I mean, there's
There's a lot of bands like that.
There's a lot of bands like that, especially the further back you go, where they're
Jeff Buckley.
like people
Jeff
are still.
Four canceled folks. You go, oh fuck. There's so many. Like
I'm
imagine,
thinking like bands like Foreigner, where you're like they were big at the time and they're not now, but they're still making albums, I believe.
Yeah.
Is
and it's kind
Boston?
of like nobody remembers them. Boston's another good example.
Tears for Fears.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of these I don't know enough
I don't think
about.
Boston is still making music, but I do think Boston had one
Well,
album.
they
that-
made
that
albums
blew up.
a lot longer
Yes,
than
yeah.
they should have.
Yeah.
I listened to that album like maybe 2 weeks ago, and I was just like, "Fuck, this is so good."
Yeah,
I
it's a great
forgot.
album. Yeah.
I forgot how good it
Yeah.
is. I just heard like More Than a Feeling on the radio at one point. I was like, "Oh shit, this is good."
I had a student play that. they played like the More Than a Feeling riff, and I was like, oh, More Than a Feeling. I started playing with him, and it's an older guy, and he was like, oh, I underestimated you. And I'm like, what? What? You
Like
underestimated?
you would have
what?
never heard that song.
Like, I don't know that song, bitch. I played Rock Band. Shut up.
Well, here's a great question. This one's just for you and me. I'm jumping down the list a little bit here. But what's the best Guitar Hero song?
Through the Fire and the Flames.
To be
No.
on, no, we can't say that one anymore.
Yeah, especially yeah.
I
That's
really,
true.
to be honest, I asked this question and I did not prepare.
The problem is that like I played more. Does Rock Band count?
I know.
Can I
Yeah,
count
sure.
Rock Band? Okay.
We make the rules. FCP remix.
Oh, that's a great one.
My favorite one, I would say.
Fuck. I got to look up the list. I'm sorry.
My favorite one that I would say, I'm just going to stick to Guitar Hero just to make my life easier. My favorite ones was one of the bonus tracks on Guitar Hero 1. So for you guys, I know you guys have played it, but the whole thing of the bonus tracks on Guitar Hero, I think just one was this way, but maybe the others were, is that a lot of people who were developing on this game were also in bands themselves. So they would do these bonus songs that you could buy from your gig money in the game as like a bonus thing to play at the end of the game.
How much did the gigs pay?
I don't remember. It was like hundreds of dollars.
Setting unreasonable expectations.
Yeah.
But then also like playing an arena for hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, unreasonable expectations.
Yeah. So then
Some future tour manager
that's
is watching his
So
friends play.
sad.
But my favorite one would probably be Even Rats by The Slip. That, like, I remember hearing that. I was like, oh, this is what indie rock is? This is so cool. It's not, like, necessarily, like, the most fun guitar one, but I still, like, I have it on a playlist on my phone of, like, songs that I just like to listen to this day. Surrender is also a great
Oh,
song.
I'm an idiot. I know what it is. Run to the Hills.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Run to the Hills on drums on Rock Band was the fucking best.
Do you guys have any input on this? It's okay if you
I
don't.
don't have any.
I've played that game.
Yeah, I've played the game. At one point, I had all the stuff for it or whatever, but
I have
been a long time.
I have such a core memory.
Hangar 18. That would have been a good
that's true, that's
choice.
true. Hangar 18's a good choice.
Is that Megadeth?
Yeah. Also, Tom Sawyer. Even though I don't like Rush, that was a great song to play on drums on Rock Band. That
Oh,
was
that's a hot
great-
take. I fucking don't like Rush at all.
Hey, nice. Let's go.
And I'm
I don't know if
Canadian.
that's a hot take.
That's
A lot of
definitely
people
hot
don't
take.
like Rush.
Well-
It's a musician hot take. Musicians fucking like destroy him for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
they want to
sense.
throw him
At
into
least
the fire.
at least a week, once a week, I get comments about the fact
I would
that
say
I don't
they
like
have a
Rush.
lot of good albums, but they're also a band that kind of like overstayed their welcome in terms of new output.
It's so funny how many people like love Rush, and then you bring up like the D&D shit, and they're like, it's cool, but the moment D&D's brought up outside of that, they're like, D&D's fucking stupid. I'm like, what? Doesn't make any sense. It's cool when they wrote lyrics about that, but whenever this is stupid. I hate this.
This is going to be a dumb question for you and me specifically, Hagen, but let's just pretend like our favorite bands aren't our favorite bands. Are there any bands that you would want to see play a specific album front to back?
Millions.
Okay, just pick one.
Um,
If I could, and like theoretically, this is like anybody in the world. I think Jeff Buckley, Grace front to back would be just
that's a good
I
one.
think that would be a
amazing.
good pick.
Maybe
a
even
little bit,
Radiohead.
like, gross.
In Rainbows would be cool.
I would.
Maybe a little bit gross.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm gonna change my answer. I changed my answer to Radiohead in Rainbows.
Mine would be Beck's Morning Phase.
Did they never play that album front to back?
Oh, I'm sure they did in some.
Yeah,
I just
capacity,
didn't know if they went
but
on like a full tour for that album or not.
they played
They
at
did.
the that Verizon. No, what is it now? The Grand Prairie one.
The weird inside, yeah.
Texas CU Trust.
Yeah, that's where they played in Dallas. But yeah, I'm sure, and I'm sure they played it front to back, but they didn't make a deal of it.
Right.
Like they probably showed up to a gig, played it, and people were like, "Oh fuck, they just played it front to back."
I would say Beck's Morning Phase with like the lineup from the record.
Yeah.
I would love to hear that front to back.
You have any, Adam?
I don't know. That's
It
a
can
really
be
hard
it can be
question.
an orchestral piece. It can be Johnny Greenwood's Phantom Thread.
I feel like he's done that. So
He
probably has
does
done
like live performances of his orchestral pieces, but he's not ever playing. It's always like he amasses a crew and he's just like, yes, very good.
Born and Raised. John Mayer's Born and Raised. I'd love to hear that front to back. Incubus's Curl After the Murder.
You can't pick between the Buried and Me.
I wasn't gonna, man.
I'm just saying, like you and I can't pick ours.
I've also seen. Yeah, I've seen.
I
it.
would love to see Coheed do Good Apollo Volume 1 again.
Yeah.
Or even the one before that, in Keeping Secrets.
So you
I
saw it. It was probably on the Never Enders.
yeah.
Yeah. And is it everything you wanted?
Yeah. I loved it.
I would love,
to
to go
do it again.
back in time to whenever I was invited to see Colors and the original Colors tour at the Door, and I didn't go. I'd love to go back in time to that moment and see that. But otherwise, I wouldn't put Between the Buried and Me. No, I'm gonna see my favorite album of theirs in July, so that will satiate all my needs.
And their sub guitar player is like a kid.
He's crushing it too.
I've heard he's
absolutely crushing it.
So you guys don't have one?
I mean, if I do, it's people who are dead, and it's like there's no way that would happen.
Fuck. Get him out of the chat.
You want me to ban him?
Yeah. I'm taking
No.
him with it. He comes with me.
This is your final wish on the show.
Since this is my last show, he's coming with
Patrick,
me.
I'm not gonna ban you. You're fine, dude.
Patrick was supposed to give me some pit vipers to bring to one of these shows. He didn't do it. So
I'm not gonna ban him for that.
you're banned. I'm banning him.
He's probably just halfway listening. He's probably in a raid or something right now.
also my wife said to give you a canceled Buckley.
nice.
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
That's good.
I think I got one for it.
You did.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
We just didn't name it that.
Yeah.
I honestly cannot think of an album that I mean, it would be great to see Wasting Light front to back.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
But I mean,
They wouldn't do that though because it's too short. So
yeah. I'm trying to think about like an album that I like is like just like a cohesive, like amazing front to back album that I used to
Any
love.
like Sarah Bareilles or anything like
Oh,
that?
that's probably true. Yeah, Kaleidoscope Heart front to back.
Cool.
I'd love to see Kaleidoscope Heart live.
Adam, you have to say something.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
Black Star.
I think that's what I was going though.
Fuck.
Was like, yeah, with
That'd be such a bummer.
That would be gross too.
yeah. I mean, if David Bowie had been touring and hadn't died, then yeah, that album is up there.
Like Queen,
Queen would
Night
be
at
really
the
cool.
Opera would be awesome.
Yeah.
Gross.
Wait, what do you guys think about hologram performances of that?
I don't.
No,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna
all
pay
the
for
remaining
that.
I know
members of
Zappa's
Queen
doing it.
Really?
Yeah, there's like a touring Zappa hologram.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't-
videos of it. It's not.
I don't have an interest in paying for that because that feels weird.
What if it
And
was
they
like
have a live band, and then he's in front.
That's even
yeah,
strange.
I know a guy that was hired. We know a guy that was hired to play guitar for the Roy Orbison
Yeah.
hologram.
Yeah.
What if it was
I
Jackson?
loved it in Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
What if it was all the members of Queen aside from Freddie Mercury with a Freddie Mercury hologram?
No,
That feels
Really?
so wrong.
no, I wouldn't like it. I also I don't
coming.
know if I
Oh,
would,
I know it's coming, but
I don't know if I would enjoy seeing Queen live back in the day because I was watching a Knocked Loose live performance today, and they got to Counting Worms, and when they get to that song, it's so short, it's like a minute long. The singer just like he sings the opening line so everybody knows what's going on, and then he basically lets the whole crowd sing.
Yeah.
And as an audience member, I think when you're in the audience, you have a great time, but like it kind of sucks.
Did you watch the Coachella performance?
Yeah.
He didn't do that for the. He
Oh no! Sorry, it was Bonnaroo.
Okay, yeah, I haven't watched Bonnaroo yet, but for Coachella, I think he let the audience do the arf, but everything else he did.
Well, that's the one thing he has to do. He has to do the
Well,
burp burp.
the burp.
But it is annoying being
So-
at a really popular band's shows when you know all the deep cuts.
Yeah.
I'm referencing the Incubus concert I went to with my wife, where it's like nobody knew anything, and then the second they started playing Drive, all these people were on like their partner's shoulders, and phones were out all over the place.
That's becoming way worse now with like TikTok songs.
Yeah.
People are just going to see an artist. They know one song, and it's the TikTok song, and that
But
song
they know
plays.
less than one song.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
know
exactly.
15 seconds.
That's what I just said about the accounting. Like I got from Queen to that. Queen, if you look at a lot of their live performances, maybe it wasn't this way every night, but a lot of the famous ones you'll see, there's a lot of crowd work where Freddie Mercury would have the crowd sing. And like, I think when you're in that crowd, it's fun. But like when I watch that, I'm like, I really wish I could hear you singing this
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Like do it a little bit, but not the entire song.
Well,
It-
he
it
did have a
sucks.
tendency to do it a lot.
And I think it was genuinely in the moment. I don't
Oh, yeah, I'm
think
sure
it was
it was
like, I can't
exciting.
hit this note,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
do
yeah.
it.
But a lot of times it is a really smart way for singers if they're having somewhat of an off night to
Yeah.
get out of singing those
Yeah.
higher, more popular parts.
Man, when I had that throat thing and I saw Coheed and I'm normally singing the whole time, I just like, I couldn't sing and I was just listening. I was like, he's hitting all these notes. He's
Yeah.
like, he's not like, he's gotten like pretty strategic with like, he'll like miss a word just to breathe, that kind of thing. But like, he's not like, that is one of those like, as well as I know them, I can safely say that he could go up there and like just kind of play it cool
Yeah.
and not go as hard as he does every night because the whole crowd's screaming and he'd
Yeah.
be fine. Did you guys watch that tour logistics YouTube video a while ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very stressful.
It stressed the fuck out of me. I just
That was
wanted
like
to
months
talk-
ago, right?
Yeah, months ago.
Yeah.
And every time I think about it, I just like it's like 7 minutes, right?
Oh, I think it's longer than that, isn't it?
But it's not like 30 minutes. It's not an hour.
His video is normally about 20 minutes.
I've never watched any of his stuff, but I don't want to based off this. So what we're talking about, it's this like
Isn't
the
it
logistics.
Wendover, I think was the
could
YouTube
find
channel
it.
name, right?
But
I
basically,
don't know.
Here,
I
actually,
did
I
not.
sent
Pretty sure
it
it
to
is.
somebody recently. So, but basically, it's this like video, and this guy, it's Wendover Productions. It's the absurd logistics of concert tours.
So I guess for context, he does videos that are almost entirely about logistics of things.
It's 15
Focuses
minutes.
on things about like airplanes and how, airports work and shit.
It's
and then
super
he,
cool.
He got into this, which was it's an obvious like topic for him, but it's also very different.
Yeah, and so it kind of like went viral, and like I was, I fell into my lap, and I was like, oh, I watched it, and like immediately within a minute of watching it, I was like, oh, I'm getting anxiety.
Yeah.
because like he's talking about like, oh, at this point, like now the trucker who can only drive 8 hours a day, but the drive to the next venue is 7.5 hours. If there's any traffic, if there's anything like this, the whole tour is fucked. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's just like and it's talking about like arena tours, and it's basically this like tiny town that's just moving around. It's fucking crazy.
It's like a traveling circus.
It was just I wonder if it would be stressful to like somebody who's not in the music world like us.
I don't know.
I feel like it would be if you look at the dates of like a normal like national tour. They're in one city one day, they're in the next city the next day, and those are not always close. So
I think a lot of people don't understand like
how much stuff goes with them for one thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna take us out of music for a second and put us into something that definitely everybody, I would imagine, especially like in the U.S., takes part in, which is watching TV or watching movies. And the amount of things that go into making that, I think people just assume like there's some stuff. There's a camera. There's people acting. Someone wrote it, and
Yeah.
someo's telling them what to do. But they don't understand. There's a million other pieces that are making.
Well, and
it happen.
all the things in the credits, there are lots of people who just like how are there so many names in the
There's a
credits? Like,
design
these
to
are a
skip
bunch
the
of
credits. Yeah.
made up jobs. And,
Yeah. And so when we look at like an album, for example, like we'll get into it later, I'm sure, but with the Queens of the Stone Age album, it says produced by them, right? And it's like it was just them. It's like, well, it probably wasn't just them. And
Right.
and it was probably them in the sense of like it was produced by them, but it looks like from an outside perspective, it was just these people.
Yeah.
And then when you like take a live show, for example, you just see the band performing, and then they're singing into mics and speakers, and that's like, so people who will take something on face value won't want to take, they not necessarily won't want to, but they won't take in the rest of the information that shows that like there is so much happening here.
Like that little fact you just mentioned, like if they can only drive for 8 hours, so if there's traffic, the thing's fucked. There's so many things like that.
Yeah.
That when a band hits a stage, I'm sure that the crew are all just like, oh.
Well, they even
it's-
talk about like riggers, which are the
Yeah.
people who like set up like the lights up top and all that kind of stuff. And I was just thinking, like, if that person just has one, like that's a complicated job, and there's so much like safety involved with that. And if they just happen to fuck something up and it falls, whole tour, like, and let's say it falls on a musician, breaks their leg, breaks their arm, that kind of thing, like the whole tour is canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of
Unless
those
you're Dave Grohl, then
Right.
you just make a
up.
fucking throne.
drink some whiskey and get back on stage. But there's a whole host of those people that never see the artist perform because once they're done with their job, they're contracted that they have to go to a hotel and they have to get X amount of hours of sleep
Yeah.
so that they can wake up and get ready to set up the next
Yeah, I think
day.
that was the eye-opening part to me, is you always assume like, oh, well, most of those people like putting together the stage, maybe they're local, so they get to hang out and watch the show.
They
And
finish,
no.
go to sleep, and then
Yeah.
wake up when the show's over.
Yeah.
Right, which is just kind of crazy.
Depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very like out there world that is like the touring stage production thing. It's like the people who decide that that's their job have signed up for very difficult
It's
life.
grunt work.
Yeah.
Very meticulous grunt work, too.
Yeah.
Stressful. I mean, even just watching people at the end of a show, like watching them en masse just like start to tear stuff down at like an arena show is like, it's wild, but it's also like everything's planned. There's
Well,
nobody
yeah.
just kind of be
Yeah.
like, I guess I'll grab this cable now. It's
No.
like they're doing it in order.
Well, and I was like, so when I saw Theo, he was on like a pretty like it was a mid-sized tour, but he's playing a small room when I saw him this time, and I was like, I'm gonna wait around because especially it's a small room. I'm gonna see if he comes out, and I want to meet him. I want to I want to talk to him.
I wanna kiss 'em.
I want to kiss him, and
I want to meet him. I want to meet him.
I want to meet him.
Show them my book, Catcher in the Rye.
And I waited around to see, and I saw like the drummer come out, and the drummer came out because I saw Theo in Houston, and the drummer's from Houston, so I was like, oh, well, he's seeing family.
And you asked
I'm
him,
not
hey,
gonna-
do you want me to help you tear down?
And I didn't.
You jumped up on stage.
Shut the fuck up. And I didn't go meet the drummer. I was like, I want to meet Theo. And we were standing there for maybe 5 minutes. I would say less than that. And then someone walks out and is like, if you are not buying merch, you have to go.
Yes.
I'm like, what the fuck? And it's because they wanted to start
Yeah.
tearing down. They had
Yeah.
to get it going. They had to get ready to go to the next place. So
Yeah.
Right, because he was probably playing somewhere else the next night.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, and
that's
you don't-
usually how this goes with
Yeah.
a lot of tours.
They don't want that annoying fan, you,
Yeah.
to be walking around going, what pedal is that?
yeah, exactly.
What kind of tuning is that guitar
Yeah,
in?
exactly. Yeah.
I remember I went to go see Julia Jacqueline, and she was playing at Club Dada. It's a small venue, and afterwards, I went and bought the record, and then there was this girl who was maybe like 12 years old or something, maybe even younger. She was there with her dad, and he was sitting next to the rail and like saw one of her touring members and said to like the drummer, like, hey, do you know if she's going to be coming out? My daughter would really like to meet her. I really don't think she was planning on coming out, but I think she heard, oh, there's like a 10-year-old girl out there. I have to go out. So she came out and then like talked to her forever. And then all of us lined up. We're like, will you sign this?
Like a bunch of fucking leeches.
Yep. Thank you to that 10-year-old girl.
Dude, speaking
And she said, by the way, one of the cutest things ever. This girl said, I thought you were like, I got worried for a second you weren't going to play Pressured the Party, which is her biggest song. She's like, but then you played it as your last song. You came out and played it. And I was really excited. I was like,
Oh, you don't understand how shows work
it
yet.
was so cute. And I was like, but also I was like, oh man, I hope she wasn't sitting there during that show like, oh no, she's not going to play it.
there's a picture from a recent Between the Buried and Me show where a little girl had a picture or a sign that said, "Mr. Richardson," the drummer for Biddy Bam's name is Blake Richardson. "Mr. Richardson, can we trade drumsticks?" And she brought like pink little kids drumsticks that are shorter, and he pointed at her, walked out to her, and traded drumsticks with her. I can't find video of him using them.
Please.
At the end of the show, or did he try to play?
I want to find video of him playing with them,
That'd be
but
awesome.
like the pictures that were taken are fucking adorable.
He's a fucking beefhead too, so and he like plays drums like a crazy person, so he would break those immediately.
Yeah.
All right, I got 2 more questions for you. I don't like this one question, so I'm cutting it.
I just imagine him breaking the sticks and going, "What the fuck, little girl?
These Barbie branded ones suck.
Give my sticks back."
I'm gonna go see Oppenheimer. Yeah, so we hear about elevated horror in movies. You know that term, elevated, that we use.
I've
in
never
film?
heard that.
You don't like that movie Hereditary.
Oh, we just
People-
skip the question then.
Okay, we're gonna skip the question then. All right, last question here. It's do you guys know how there's like airplane movies? Do you guys have that where like you'll have like, oh, I know I'm going on a trip or I'm gonna be on an airplane, or I'm not gonna watch that movie unless like I'm on an
Unless
airplane.
you're forced to.
Yeah.
Like I remember The Mummy, that Tom Cruise one. Oh fuck,
Yeah, the light died.
I'm a ghost now. Yeah, so like that Tom Cruise movie, The Mummy, I was like, I don't really want to see that, but I was on an airplane and I watched it. Do you guys have any like music like that? Anything like that?
I actually do because I don't watch movies on planes.
It's just dead. It's not gonna work.
Graceland.
Oh.
Paul Simon's Graceland. I like
a good
listening to
one.
that on flights.
Oh, so like it's a repeat.
yeah,
Why?
it's comfortable. There was one flight where
Do
I
you
was.
get anxious on flights, like turbulence?
It's no, I get my ears get really fucky,
yeah, same.
and it hurts so bad.
Do you have noise canceling headphones?
No.
At all?
No.
Because that is the single best thing if you fly enough to have that make sense, day and night. Like,
Yeah,
I don't have that problem at all.
I wonder if those would help your in-ears.
No, my ears get clogged. The pressure, and
I
it's,
have that
it's
same problem.
excruciating.
I have to like it used to when I was young, and I think it's because like my ear canals. I don't know if your ear canals move when you're older,
Maybe.
but like I assume they do pretty consistently when you're young and developing. But when I was young and would fly until like maybe I was like in like early 20s, like I would fly and it would take me about like 3 days for my ears to feel normal.
Yeah, I'm talking like I've spent many flights in tears.
Yeah.
and like rocking back and forth, and I'm sure the people next to me are like,
People are up
I'm
in
afraid
the
of
front.
this guy
People in first class are like, that baby is loud.
"Yeah, it's me, going like, oh fuck, my ears. That baby sounds weird."
I think your baby's sick.
I had that feeling once, and I was watching a documentary about Graceland just to try and like get my mind off of it, and then it went away. So now I have this weird Pavlovian
That's
thing
your
where
thing.
I'm like,
That's your
I wanna
ritual.
listen to, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe if I'm listening to Graceland,
I don't have a specific
I
album.
won't cry on this flight.
I when I flew to Italy last
Little
year, the Wilco put out a double album that was their like they always get the alt country tag as their genre, and so they were like, okay, we don't really get that, but like here's what we think a country album would be like from Wilco, and it's called I think Cruel Country. And it was like a double album. And I was like, oh, fuck, this is long. So I put that on as like I'm going to be on this flight for 12 hours.
okay.
And I really, I ended up really enjoying it. It put me to sleep in a good way. Like
That's
not
a-
in a like bored.
That's a hot take for me. Is I can't get into Wilco.
Love Wilco.
Yeah,
I was that way for a while. And I've
I
tried
also
to
can't get into them.
tried to do the same for you.
Yeah,
So I don't think I have. I think for airplane stuff, whether it be like a movie or music, I need something that's just gonna like not necessarily calm me down, but just like put me in like kind of some sort of like relaxed state,
comforting
Yeah,
kind
like
of
like
thing.
if I put something on TV tonight, it's gonna be something that I've probably already watched or at least am familiar
Flash
with.
season 1.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
AKA The Flash, the movie 2023.
it's a different story.
Sorry, my bad.
But so I will put on something that I'm like familiar with, comfortable with. So I mean, like I feel like I can't focus on a plane. Like as soon as I hear the ding, even if it's just to turn the fucking like seatbelt light off, I'm like since I have the AirPods, they're like the sound canceling ones. I like click it and I'm like, what was that?
Yeah, no,
See, I'm a terrible passenger because I just fucking ignore those.
it's so funny that we do that as like grown ass adults. Like this is a very like if an emergency happens, we need to like know what to
yeah.
do. And all of us like they start doing the safety thing. And we're like, fuck off.
I listen every time.
Oh, I don't.
Have you been on like an international travel where like
Yeah.
it's a different language?
No.
They do it fucking twice.
I don't listen.
Or if it's the KLM, because they have like 9 national languages.
Sorry, well, yes. Almost every time I've flown, it's been internationally.
They
and
do it-
They always do it.
That's a good point.
Yeah, they always do it. It's always French, but I always ignore that.
They do it multiple, but like if they have one of those, like a lot of them, a lot of these airlines will have that like thing on the back of the seat, like the
stupid
where you
video
can have the
screen.
free movie.
Yeah.
You can't fucking use it when
No,
they're
it shuts
doing
off.
it in
Yeah.
fucking Italian.
That's
I'm
really
like,
annoying.
I don't know what you're saying.
I don't.
You don't have these
If the
problems on
plane go
Southwest.
down,
Hey,
jump out of the window.
my last name is Russo. His is not. So I'm good.
I don't.
I'm safe.
I don't listen to the safety part. But if
You're
it's
talking
anything
about
else,
an interruption during the rest of the flight.
yeah, if it's
that-
anything else, is that
Is
You're
that
like,
time the
I need to
plane
hear this.
starts,
Yeah. Yeah.
just
You
like
can't ignore it.
spiraling.
Well, I just like maybe it's the captain going like just saying anything at all.
Oh, yeah, because
I'm-
the captain likes to chime in and be like, wow, those are the mountains over there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weather in Houston is pretty good. We should be landing in about 10 seconds.
oh, it's not gonna work for you. I was
Thanks
gonna
for
turn on the
flying
fucking thing.
with
It's like-
That's a
Spirit
really good
Airlines.
bit. Wow, that's what you think of us? That we
I was
fly-
gonna turn on this sound for you, so I was gonna. Thank you so much for flying Southwest. We are getting very close to your destination.
It's sunny. Yeah.
Do any of us fly
It
Spirit?
doesn't work on mine. No,
I have flown Spirit.
Do you fly
No,
Spirit?
I've never flown
Do you fly Spirit?
I like that. They
Again,
give
I
you-
fly internationally.
you.
I like that
I
they
fly
give you.
internationally.
I don't fly Delta either, just in case you're curious.
Okay, Air
All right.
Canada, bitch. Says jazz on the planes.
He's coming to America like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
That's for me.
That's my favorite basketball team.
The Canadian jazz.
Yeah.
No,
Everybody
the
knows that.
Utah Jazz.
I know.
Utah Jizz, dude. Fuck.
The Utah Mormons.
That's all I got.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good place to end.
I like it. I like it. That's great. Well, what's everyone listening to? I'll let one of you guys say what we're
I
listening to.
mean, we're listening to Queens of the Stone Age new album that I forgot the name of.
In Times New Roman.
New Roman. Yeah.
Did you know that it's the end of the trilogy?
What the fuck, a trilogy?
I didn't know there was a trilogy.
Like Clockwork, Villains, and this. It's apparently a trilogy.
None of them are None of them are similar.
And they confirmed on their socials recently.
Yep.
Is
Yeah.
that a way to get people to listen to it?
No,
It is. It is.
I don't know if it. I don't think they need that because he's not talking about it in interviews.
Yeah.
Like he's talking about all the other reasons for people to listen to it.
I'll go listen to it now. I didn't know it was the end of the trilogy. Fuck. Zane Lowe didn't mention that.
Yeah, exactly. He's not talking about it in interviews. So,
I hate Zane Lowe's button.
I love it.
dude, I was gonna add it.
He's such
I hate it.
he's such an old man, and
Yeah.
I love it. I
I
think
was-
it's so good.
I like
Kicks
that
his
he's
chair back and
excited
he's
about
always
it.
like, whoa.
Yeah.
Josh
I was gonna
Homme
add
was
that.
the only guest that was ever like, yeah, let's do that over and over again.
Oh yeah, he goes, yeah. Hit your explode button.
Hit your explode button. Most people on that show, he does it once, and they're like, ah, and then they're like, don't fucking do that again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add it to the board.
Do it.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
It's done. Yeah. So the new Queens of Stone Age album.
Yeah, it's
that's
great.
what we're listening
Yeah, it's
to.
good.
In Times
And-
New Roman.
Still rocking the new Jason Isbell record,
Nice.
and I'm like driving to places. I'm going, oh, I get that song now.
Yeah.
I understand the lyrics, and that's a sad song.
I feel like this new Queens of Stone Age album I've been seeing a lot of people on socials like have like a lot of mixed feelings about it. I saw a good friend of the show mention that it sounds like it was recorded in a bathroom.
There's no bass on this one either.
Oh no, there's lots of bass.
There's lots of bass.
Villains had zero
this
bass.
This
Had
is the
tons of
problem.
bass.
This is the problem is that I guarantee we talked about it on Fun Fridays. Dave and I did. We listened to the album. The drums are pretty much they have to be all room mics.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's only a couple songs where I would believe they used the close mics, but everything else sounds like it was all room. And it's just it makes the drums feel like they're just in this weird vacuum sometimes. But there's a couple songs where it's like it works. There's a couple songs where it's like I'm just not totally there. But I think the songs are great, and I think the writing is great, and I think his voice sounds amazing. So
Yeah, it
Not very
sounds
professional.
more similar to their older stuff.
it sounds like so many different of their older stuff.
Right,
Right,
all
Yeah.
at once,
Yeah.
kind of blended together.
Yeah.
I kind of I'm a little disappointed there's not more of like some kind of new direction anywhere in it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's
it's the
just
end
'cause
of the trilogy.
apparently that's why it's because it's the end of the trilogy. But
Fucking Return of the Jedi.
I did wonder
Pipe
about
down, Adam.
the recording of it because
Last Skywalker.
I didn't
over
listen
here.
to this on my normal like headphones or my normal like bookshelf speakers I have on my desk. I listened to it on a HomePod, and it sounded weird and kind of bad.
It's.
And I think it's probably
Listen to it on anything. It's gonna sound
I'm sure
weird.
it'll sound way better.
No, he's fine.
For what? Listening on a HomePod?
He's If,
No,
if
for saying it was bad.
Oh.
no,
I still like the songs and everything.
you
It's-
said
I
it,
think
dude. You said
it stood out as like this doesn't sound right for some reason.
listen to it on anything at all. I listen to it. I listen to it in my AirPods. Listen to it on these headphones that I'm wearing now, and then I listen to it in the car, and it all sounds weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a grower.
But I think it's a great album. I just think the mixing choice is very strange because there's some things they did like just production wise and mixing wise that are awesome. It's just that thing with the drums. It's like I don't understand why.
Right, because to your point, you're saying it could have worked on like a song or two, but they did it on all of them.
Not
Or
all,
most of them.
A lot. Yeah.
It's totally okay for an album to like you to not love it immediately.
That's
Like,
why I didn't. Yeah. Well, that's also why I didn't buy the vinyl for this.
I think a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I bought the
You're
Foo
re-
Fighters one.
Jackson,
within,
you're
like,
really good about that.
I just
the
think
same
that
day.
Yeah.
So.
and I'm a victim of this as well, or responsible for this as well. Is that like I'm trying to listen to so much stuff at all times that like sometimes I'll hear an album. Sometimes I'll hear an album and I'm just like, this is really good, and then I don't listen to it again, and I just find myself like missing out on stuff because of that. And so like and even like some of my favorite bands like Coheed's most recent record, wasn't super into it, never disliked it, but I was just like, it's nothing like groundbreaking. And then I gave it more and more listens, and I was like, oh, this is like, I actually really love this. There's some really cool new stuff in here.
Yeah, there's so with this new Queens record, they released 3 singles, but really 2. So the third one they released like the week of the album. And the first one, I was like, I like it, but it's just it's really repetitive, but it's good.
Well, it feels old. Like it felt like it could have been a B-side off of something else, and we wouldn't have known it.
Yeah, like you thought he would like lose like there can't be many more drugs you can name, right? You know,
Right, exactly. yeah. I thought
There's
you were
only
gonna say,
so many.
lose steam.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
Tell me later.
Yeah. I like, and then they did the second single, and I was like, man, I like it. I'm not 100% sure about it yet, though. And so then I listening to the whole album. I think that it all made sense. I liked it all, but I was really hesitant to like get the vinyl, to do anything, because I was like, I have to listen to the whole thing first. There's way too much, because like Villains was a good album, but it was not my favorite of theirs at all. So
It's very consistent across it, though.
yeah, it's true. That's
So
very,
you
very
either
true.
like it or you don't.
Yeah.
This is a lot more varied.
Jackson, how many listens to an album will you give before you write it off?
I mean, it really depends. If I like the band, I'll give them a lot of listens. I don't know, like maybe like 3 or so.
Yeah.
It's like I have a similar rule to like TV shows, unless like I just like really don't like it. I try to, depending on how long an episode is, so let's just say like that 45-minute to an hour format, I'll give it 3 episodes before I really decide like, hey, I'm done here. I've given you an honest try. Same thing with like video games. Like I'll give it a solid like 5 hours before I'm like, oh, you know what? It's not doing it for me. And I think, and people who play JRPGs are going to hate me for this, but like within 5 hours, you know whether you like a game or not. And you can, I think it's okay for you, like if somebody were to review a 100-hour video game and only play it for 5 hours, as long as they say, hey, I got 5 hours in and this is why I stopped, that's a totally valid review. The idea that like, oh, you didn't actually see it to the end, it's like, no, that's a valid thing. Like if you walk out of a movie theater because of a reason, as long as you state it, that's totally valid.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What you been listening to?
Queens of the Stone Age, that album. A victim of the always listening to new stuff. AJJ released a new album this year. It's called Disposable Everything. And when it came out that weekend, I listened to it maybe 2 or 3 times, and I was like, this is amazing. And then I just like let all this time elapse and didn't listen to it. So I picked it back up this week, and it's just they're playing at Resonant Head up in
really?
Oklahoma City. Also, a model actress is playing there as well. So like there's all these like cool, the Resident Head is this like, we played with this band in Oklahoma City, and one of the owners, he was in the band and he was telling us all about it. And I was like, this place looks so cool. And then I saw like like all these bands, like Model Actress is my like favorite album of the year so far. And I was like, oh shit, they're playing there. Oh shit, AJJ's playing there. They're getting some amazing shows. So
That's
good
awesome.
on them.
Yeah.
I hope to drive up there to see those shows. But
And tell them that we want to play there too.
well, no, trust me. I already messaged them saying like, hey, you guys are getting some great shows. I hope to see you all at these. And he said, yep, we'll look out for some shows for you guys to open up. So
That's great.
I'm doing business.
Good shit. Good
Yeah.
shit.
That's what the suit's for.
Yeah. That's all I've been listening to. Are you guys ready for your exit interview, your
Yeah.
performance reviews?
I'm ready.
Hagen, you've done great. Thank you for setting up the streaming. I don't think you get enough appreciation for that, especially when everything's shit in the bed, which is not your fault. Truly appreciate that.
Yeah, I think if you were watching the video and you don't know that that's all Hagen, then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hagen's always doing that. Dave, you're the funny guy.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. You said that about yourself, and we all mocked you for it. You're the funny guy.
Okay.
Thank
You're
you.
the funny guy.
Thank you for being the funny guy.
I try.
I thought you would really appreciate that.
I do.
Adam,
you seem shocked by it.
because he's not very funny. Is that
I'm
it?
processing.
All right, I'm moving on to Adam then.
Yeah, that's fair.
Adam, you are you're the what's that? The duck or the swan analogy? Is that it or metaphor? Where it's just like it's calm and peaceful on the top,
But there's chaos under the water.
Not chaos necessarily, but you're the one who you're.
Oh no, our
you're pedaling.
RSS feed for the podcast is chaos.
But that's the thing. Nobody knows. All of our stuff gets put up on the interwebs. I don't know how any of that shit works. Somebody asked me this weekend, "Hey, can you help me with like a podcast? Like how do I set it up?" I said, "No, you can talk to Hagen for the tech stuff, and I genuinely don't know how the fuck it works to be put up on the internet. So that would have to be Adam. Adam, thank you for doing that. Thanks for paying our our fees for getting this stuff up. I really appreciate it." And you can do the whole thing now, the social medias.
You can do your other job now.
You sure you don't want to do it?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Man.
It's been you want me to try? Here, I'll try. It's been a fun, however many years. I hope
to
to
be
come
like
back
4 years.
at some point.
The whole thing is like 7.
More. Yeah,
7?
Yeah, yeah.
It's close to 300 episodes now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Should have made it to 300.
No, I'm good.
He's gonna come back on 300 and be
It's
like,
okay.
I was here.
Yeah.
You don't.
the
You
whole
don't
time.
have. You don't have to do the. You don't have to do the out. I got it. I got
Does
it. It's
anybody
all
got any shows that they want to plug?
I don't have a show, but my band Matthew and the Arrogant Sea announced a new album. We're album release at the Kessler. Go buy tickets September 1st. And then our first single off the album, Targets, is out now. Go listen to the song Targets on all your streaming services and come see us play the album. That's all we're going to do with that album release, just play the album. So
Yeah, I'll be there. So if you want to like hate on me for leaving the show, you can do it there. So you can like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Follow us on your favorite podcast feed if you're not already doing that. You can do that if you don't like the video feed on YouTube. Yada yada yada. You can email us anywhere at jacksonquittheband@don'tfeedtheartist.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then am I
I guess I
missing?
need to disable your email.
Yeah, go for it.
yeah, that's fucking
We got to
great.
turn off your
Yeah,
badge
yeah,
and
yeah.
your key card.
I'm leaving the group chat tonight. Don't worry.
Yeah. If you're on YouTube, follow, subscribe, said everything else. In social media, Don't Be the Artist, DFTA podcast. You'll find us all there. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. Tell your enemies, tell your friends. And
No. I got this.
okay,
Fuck off. I'm throwing in the towel.
that's good.
Love you, man.
Thank you, Jackson.
Go to the.
Thank you for your service, Jackson. We really appreciate you. And on your left here, you'll see a guy who quit a podcast. So thank you so much for being here on air. Don't feed the artists. We'll see you next week. Fuck off. Give me a towel.